Richard here with Sherwood Motor Cars. It's the first week of December, but you never know it around here. We're having some amazing weather, and you know what? We're going to take the opportunity to go for a drive in our awesome 1970 GMC short box half ton. It's orange, it's low, it's cool, and we're going to take it for a spin. Let's go! Okay, we're in our 1970 GMC half ton. Let's go for a drive. Hope so we put it in gear. Well, it's a particular treat for us to get to go for a drive because here in Edmonton, it is December. And you can see that there's just a little bit of snow on the ground. We got that yesterday. It's about the first snow we've had all year. So normally we'd be in 4 feet of the stuff. We'd be wearing parkas and hiding in our igloos. But this year we really are getting some great weather. What better way to use the weather than to go for a spin in a hot rod? So this is a 70 GMC. It's got a 350 small block in it. It's lowered. It's got a cowl hood, and it is very, very orange. It's got great paint, great looks, great stance, 20-inch wheels. You know, first impressions, it rides pretty good for something with this amount of drop in it. It's like a 5.7 drop. The truck sits pretty low. We're kind of on a pretty rough road here that just leaving the dealership, and this thing's pretty decent. You know, certainly doesn't ride like a brand new vehicle, but nowhere near as choppy as a lot of trucks with this kind of amount of lowering on them have. Truck idle's really nice. Sitting at the light, it's just happy. Good oil pressure. It's not real loud or vibrating, just a little bit of exhaust tone. One of my favorite things about this truck in particular is the amazing interior in it. There's just not enough vehicles out there that have orange interiors. I love the seats, I love the insert, I love the two-tone black and orange, and I especially love the bright orange door panels on this truck. It just makes the whole thing complete. Ties into the paint, ties into the dash, and it's just spectacular. You know, this truck's a really, really good driver quality truck. You can certainly take it to some shows. It stands out. It gets tons of thumbs up out there on the road. But it's a great truck to take for a spin. I mean, I feel cool in here. The truck works really good so far. We'll see how it drives here in a minute. We're just waiting for this light to turn. But sitting here idling, it's just a really, really happy rig. You know, yeah, I love the orange sun visors. When's the next time you're going to see orange sun visors in something? Coming off of the light, nice and flat in the turn, good throttle response. This motor's not like a major big powerhouse or anything, but it picks up good. It's got good throttle response, shifts through the gears in the automatic nicely. Nice and quiet. There's not rattles through the dash or in the door panels. Seating position's really happy for one of these trucks. Nice flat cornering through this turn. And it's just happy. There's just a little bit of washboard on this road. The truck's sucking it up pretty good for something that's lowered. Steering is nice and on center. I'm really happy with that. Feels planted on the road. And for something with a 5.7 drop in it, it's got I think a little C-notch in the frame. I had to take another look at the frame, but it's pretty low. And on 20-inch wheels with pretty low profile tires, that usually does not help the ride quality. Quite the opposite. It usually ruins it. This thing's pretty darn good. Even the wind whistle through the vent windows is really good in this truck. There's not a whole lot of them that are quite as quiet as this one, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Comes to a stop really nicely. Pretty happy with the brake feel in the truck. You wouldn't really change your driving technique if you hopped out of a 2024 GMC and into this truck. Steers nice, very predictable coming up to a stop. Throttle response is really predictable. And of course it settles back down into that nice idle. And it's just a really happy truck. Okay, we're just going to take it onto the highway. Oh, a little hesitation just off idle there. Maybe a little bit more accelerator pump jet. But it picked it right up, and that was happy. We're just going to take it up on a little stretch of highway here. See what it's like cruising. Exhaust sound is nice and pleasant. Like, this isn't overly loud for a hot rod truck like this. I'd be a-okay to cruise this all day long on the summer on a nice day. Downshift is nice. Throttle accelerates nice and clean. Here we are. That's coming up on 80 miles an hour. Truck is solid as a rock. It's not revving to the moon. This is a pretty nice highway cruiser. This is a comfortable place to be for a little road trip. It's always great when we get to go out for a bit of a drive. It's always one of the hallmarks of something that's put together with a bit of care. You know, this truck is a driver type truck. It's not a frame off. It's not a rotisserie restoration. It's not intended to be a total showpiece. Absolutely, you can elevate the truck to that kind of level if that's what you're looking for. But if what you're looking for is a super cool truck that you can get in, you can drive anywhere, any day you want, feel cool, have fun, this is a great choice. Definitely shows some good care and attention in the mechanical work that was done to the truck to get it to this level, just based on how it rides and is performing here for us. To 72 trucks is always just a little bit tight, but it's a very comfortable seating position. I really like them with the stock bench in them. We've had a few trucks with modern buckets, you know, aftermarket buckets, that sort of thing in them, and I gotta say, for me, if it were my truck, I think it's pretty tough to beat the stock bench. It just feels right, it looks right, the upholstery's right, especially on this one. Truck just drives nice. I mean, we're here, you know, traffic's not particularly heavy, but it's just very, very capable, hanging in there with anybody who's on the street, moving around. What a great little hot rod. I like the steering wheel too. Often aftermarket steering wheels like this I'm not a huge fan of. This one, it's got the half wood wrap. It's got the rivets, it's black, it's got a GMC button in the middle. It feels good in my hand, it's the right size for the truck. It gives you just a little bit of a fatter rim, a little bit more modern feel. And it feels nice. It's not, the steering setup in this truck is good. It isn't dirty. There isn't, one of the issues that you can get when you're lowering them a bunch is some bump steer, where as it traverses through the ups and downs of some bumps, it wants to steer around on you a little bit. This one is real happy. It's a cool truck. Well, we're just about back to Sherwood Park. I don't know how many more days we're going to get like this where we can sneak out in a hot rod and have a drive, but I'm sure glad we got to get out today and beat the snow and beat the winter. It's kind of like an early Christmas present for me. Here almost back home. This truck just goes through this little transition, left, right turn, very nicely. That's a pretty big bump. Soap that up, no problem. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Here we are back at Sherwood Motor Cars. We'll see you again next time.